Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. My name's Aidan, and today we're going to take things a little bit slow. We kind of slowed down, I think it was last episode, to do a little bit of building, kind of take things at a slower pace, and I think we're going to kind of do the same today. It's been a while since I've played in the world here. It's kind of around the holidays time. Well, the holidays have passed. I took a break kind of during the holiday time, and woo, this horse feels real fast. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while. So just to kind of get back into it, I'm just wanting to play some Minecraft. That's what we're here for. So we're going to take things kind of slow. We're going to take Kevin, our new horse, kind of out and about, explore a little bit. He's only got gold armor, so I'm hoping we can maybe find him some diamond gear. And we got a couple other fun things to do today. Probably a lot of time lapses and things because, you know, time lapses are fun, and I can just kind of chill out, play the game, and, you know, do the whole replay mod kind of after the fact. I really enjoyed playing around with the replay mod, but it kind of just lets me chill here, and I don't have to worry about me rambling like I'm doing right now. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find anything interesting while we're out, maybe a desert temple or something, and I'll bring you guys back if we find anything. Well, you know what? That was not a very successful trip, but we did get some other goodies like a bee in this little bee's nest and some dark oak. We didn't have that before. I don't think we had sweet berries, and a crossbow from that little pillager outpost. Nothing crazy, but yeah, Kevin did not get his fancy, shiny, new blue armor, so that'll have to wait for another day. And we're actually going to be spending a little bit of time in the Nether this episode. So maybe we'll explore the fortress while we're down there and maybe find something there. But while we were out, I kind of got thinking about, you know, it'd be easier to, you know, explore different areas here if, like, maybe further off if we use the Nether. So I think what we're going to work on the rest of today is getting a little base in the Nether set up just around the portal there so it's protected, because right now it's kind of out in the open, and from there we can kind of branch out our Nether operations, make some tunnels, and be able to more easily expand to other places. So the main thing about that is going to be, you know, making sure the portal is protected, and also making it big enough so that a horse can get through, because I think if it is too wide, like the default portal size, the horse might suffocate if it goes through. I feel like I've had that happen before. I don't know if that's like a bug that got fixed or what, but yeah, that's gonna be our next task here. So the first thing we need to do here is start terraforming the land a little bit, which is really just gonna be kind of getting this weird shape here down. I'm thinking we're gonna put the portal right there and just kind of flattening this area out. Next thing is going to be moving this portal over there ish. We'll see. Alright, that's a much better portal size, and I think the location's pretty good too. The only thing is I'm worried it's a little bit too far from that one, so hopefully this will still link up to our existing portal, and it does. Good deal. And now we can go back through, and hopefully we don't create another nether portal, and we don't. Good deal. So that is complete, and the area is kind of more cleared here. So now I think what we can do is start gathering some resources. And for that, I already have some of these like kind of overworldy resources. This is going to be kind of a junk chest for now. That's not junk, but you know, it doesn't fit into our building materials. And I think what I'm going to do is actually chop down some of these warped stems, the hyphae, I think. I don't know, whatever they're called. Warped stem. I'm going to chop those down and get some blue wood for us to use as like an accent color. And yeah, I'm kind of going for like a bunker vibe because, I don't know, there's something about the Nether and how it's like just kind of a wasteland. It just makes me want to build in like a bunker style where it's like you're hunkering down, you're in a very inhospitable place, so yeah, you build a bunker. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for, and hopefully this resource harvesting doesn't take too long here. Dang ghast, blowing up my place already. Did not take long at all. This is why we need a bunker, because those guys will just wreck everything. So I'm going to kind of take a different approach to building this thing. What I'm kind of trying to do here is start out with a very basic shape, like a box. So this main little room here is going to just kind of be a box. And externally what we'll do is kind of decorate that with some kind of depth things, kind of like we've been doing before. I'm kind of thinking like some of the warped stems maybe as like little decoration blocks on the outside, maybe look like bits of like reinforcement maybe. And then on the inside, you know, just take it like a normal room like we usually do. But I'm just kind of working in shapes. It's not something I tend to do as much. I do a lot more like kind of house style building where it's like I'll maybe create a frame and kind of fill in the frame from there. You kind of probably saw that in the way I did the horse stable thing. So this is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, I guess, in terms of like how I'm approaching the build, but hopefully it'll turn out pretty okay. The reason I'm doing it this way is because right now, I mean, this isn't going to be a very big room. But over time, what I want to do is basically expand it so that depending on what we need, whether it be a nether wart farm or a storage area down here, or maybe we want a brewing area down here, or we want a branch off little tunnel area, this can kind of grow and I can just kind of add shapes onto it. It's not as like bound to a certain framework. It's more of just an amalgamation of shapes. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this right now and why I'm approaching it this way. And I'm hoping what it'll do is allow me to kind of expand it a little more easily in the future and not be so tied in with a certain look or shape of the building. But all we're doing now is just the base room, which in itself is pretty simple and pretty similar to what we've been doing so far in this series with building, just kind of creating texture out of a few different blocks and trying to find a way to join that up and make it look a little less kind of flat or bland, I guess. So, because, I mean, right now there's not really depth in this, but I'm hoping that with like a ceiling shape or something, it can kind of develop from there. Or maybe we want the boxy look. Maybe that's not so bad after all. But it's just a matter of what ends up fitting here. All right, and there's what we got right now. It's nothing crazy. It's just super basic, and right now it's really just serving as portal protection because inside is just empty. I pushed this wall back one more block, but yeah, nether brick on the floor, and pretty much everything else is samey same all the way around. And what I think I'll do is maybe just change up the block palette a little bit for each room, maybe based on what's in there, just to kind of mix things up. And yeah, the warped stem on the outside is pretty basic, just kind of framing the whole thing, adding a little bit of depth. But I think what I'll end up doing is probably have stuff kind of poking out the top a little bit to add some height to it, and stuff coming out the sides maybe at lower heights, and you know, maybe have things spill over the side eventually. I don't know, it's just about how much we end up putting in here. So for now, I'm going to call that project pretty good because I can't really think of anything else I want to add to it right at the moment. Really, it's just about protection, and whenever the need arises to make a tunnel of some sort, then we will. But that's really probably going to be it for now. Alright, so I wasn't actually done with this. I ended up recording that last clip where I said, like, we're probably done with this for now. One day, and then the next day I came back with a fresh mind, and boy oh boy, did the inspiration strike. It's nothing fancy by any means, but I just kind of got an idea of like, hey, I know where I actually want this to go now, and now we have this thing. So let's give you a little bit of a tour. We got just a little bit of extra detail on the outside here. I think it's enough just to add a little bit of that depth that we always like to talk about. Excuse me. Thank you. And inside here, we just have these little basalt, the polished basalt. They look like pillars. Just like in the corners there, kind of framing the portal and everything. I really like that. And then if you walk through the portal, we've got our staircase here that leads up to the first level of our little tower. Just a little bit of decoration stuff that I decided to do. And then up here, we've got a little bit of storage. I am leaving this open and this open in case we decide to have tunnels branching off from the tower here. And then up here, we've got a little brewing area. Maybe same thing right here, have a tunnel. I'm just trying to leave this area open for future expansion. And then up here is empty because I just don't really have a need for anything up here right now. And then up top, we have another little exit, which leads up to this big, flat, empty area where we can hunt Enderman. We can go over to yonder, I believe, is where the basalt is. Yep. So we can get basalt over there, which is nice. And again, just a big, flat, open area where we have easier access to all this nether stuff. We went around gold farming here what was it, last episode? I don't know. It's been a while. But this gives us much easier access to the rest of the nether right now because, we don't have wings. We don't have a great way of travel. So having areas where we can run around pretty easily and explore new areas is an absolute must. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously we can't see it from here, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I'm glad I did it because now we have a much more solid or secure place to spawn in the nether. And we've got a little start to that a foundation, if you will, for future base expansion, which I think is what we're going to do next. We're going to scout out a place where we can expand to for our base. This is what I mean by future base expansion. So I kind of found this area while we were exploring here. We've got Carl over there. He's the mule we bred up. And we rode out here and found this beautiful spot. And I love it because it's just in the middle of so much. We've got mountains right here. We've got an ocean over there with a coral reef. And like the way it just kind of like snakes in here, all leading up to this little pool of water here. I'm just picturing my house right there in the spruce forest there, with the giant spruce trees in the background. We've got the big mountains in the background right here. And then over there we've even got a plains biome with some flowers and stuff. It's just a beautiful spot. And I'm just imagining the way the area will develop and, you know, us being able to use boats and stuff, because our little starter base is pretty much landlocked right now. Carl, you need to get back here, bro. So really the best way around there is by horse, but there's just not a whole lot of variety. There's not like a mesa biome, and if we have access to an ocean, my hope is we'll be able to find those kind of things a little more easily. Now, we're not going to begin expanding to this area yet because I'm just not prepared for that. I'm not equipped for it gear-wise and all that. Man, over there's pretty solid too. But I might do a little bit more exploration around this area. Just kind of see what's speaking to me here. I still think there is a pretty great spot, but we might find another area that's pretty similar and maybe a little easier to terraform. But yeah, that's my eventual goal, is to expand out somewhere like here and find a spot to really settle down. And I'm thinking of building kind of like a medieval fantasy kind of town thing. I'm not sure how well we're going to stick to that because there's just so many ideas in my head that sometimes it's just like information overload, and I get to this point where I'm like, I don't know what I want to build because I have too many things that I want to build, or I want to build in too many different random styles, so nothing looks cohesive, and I end up with something that's just kind of like meh. But my hope is we can kind of keep ourselves on track with this area, give ourselves a really cool base, a cool little village town, and if we ever get the itch to build something different, we always can. We can go off somewhere else and do that, but have this as our main thing, our big first project here. And I really like the area. Even over there's a flower forest. Over there's a village. Like, we just have access to so much stuff right here, and that's exactly what I want, is just more access to a variety of things, like a variety of different biomes and just different scenery. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm going to find a spot that I really like just out of all of this and write down the coordinates and save it for later. I don't know if we'll start building a tunnel out here yet today, but I think first things first, before we really start work on this project, we might need to go to the end, beat the Ender Dragon. That way we can get some shulker boxes. We're struggling with our speaking here a little bit today. That way we can just transport materials a little more easily. Because, you know, having the mule is nice. We've got the storage space here, but for some of the materials I already have at my starter base, it's going to take a couple of trips. And if I've got shulker boxes, we can maybe make that into just one big trip, which would be great. For now, though, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. I've got a good idea of what I want to do in the future, and I'm really excited for the projects we've got coming up. And hopefully next episode we can actually start kind of working our way towards the end and getting the Ender Dragon beat. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!